Hello YouTube, Slacker Stacker here, and tonight I thought I would talk to you a little bit about online stores versus local stores. Also some of the tools and little accessories you're going to want to pick up for your stack. So, right off the bat what you can see here are these little treasure chest looking. Well, and this was just more like a box, but this was bought at a local hobby shop, a Hobby Lobby here. In your area it may have a different name. But anyway, if you go to these hobby stores, you can find a lot of these neat little boxes like this. And I've seen a lot of stackers out there using these. They're generally pretty cheap. They're fairly well constructed for as cheap as they are. But they're a neat little accent. They're kind of fun to put your silver or your gold in, and like a little pirate's chest. But that's just one thing. You don't really see these on the online stores. Now I know that I believe it's Provident Metals. It's one of them that has a unstained chest that give you a 1-ounce bar with it. It runs for about $50. And it's a neat little chest. It's a good sized little chest too. But these little guys, they can run in all shapes, colors, sizes. These are all three kind of medium examples. Some of them are a lot larger. Some of them are very, very, very small. Probably no bigger than these two little tubes here. So yeah, that's one thing that you can find. And again, there's no shipping and handling. There's no waiting in the mail or anything like that. You can just go pick them up. And chances are, when you're in that hobby shop, you're going to find a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with stacking, but you can use it for other purposes. I always like to think out of the box. It's just because an object's intended for one thing doesn't mean it has to be used for that. You can use it for just about anything you can use your imagination with. Which kind of brings me down to these tubes. Now these are those square tubes that most of the stackers use, and this is pretty much everything I've seen on the videos anyway. And these are just a little bit more expensive, but they are square. And the only reason why I can think of that they're square is instead of storing rolls of coins standing up and getting a big huge conglomeration of them, these can actually be stacked on top of each other because of the flat surfaces. And that may be advantageous in cramped spaces and in safes or whatever storage medium that you're using. But they are a little bit more expensive. The local hobby shop that I have, they don't carry these. I do like them, but I have to go online. And if you're going through like JM Bullion or some of these others that have like a $100 minimum order, you're not going to be able to go in and just get 1 or 2 tubes for your stack. So you'll have to go to another site, and again, you're going to have to pay your shipping and handling and probably pay a credit card fee. When you can go down, and I'm going to take these away, when you can go down to your local hobby store and they'll have these. This one is for like a regular silver dollar. Unfortunately, it doesn't really fit the bullion rounds. The diameter of the bullion rounds is just a little bit larger than a regular silver dollar. This one's actually made for the smaller dollar coins like the Susan B. Anthony's and the Presidential Series, and that's what I have in here. But they can also be used for your constitutional silver. They have them for quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies. They have the whole representation in these little tubes, and they usually come 4 to a pack. And this is the silver dollar one, that you can see the Eisenhower there. And it was $3.99, and it has 4 tubes in it. Again, you save your shipping, handling, and credit card fees. They're not as fancy as these square tubes, but they do have a screw top, so they're very secure. If you drop one, your coins aren't going to go rolling everywhere, which I have actually done, but they stayed intact. I don't know if they're any more airtight than the others. I really don't think so. But that is a way to organize your stack and to keep everything separated in kind of a cheaper mode. It just depends on your personal taste, really. Now, some of the tools that you're going to want while you're stacking silver. I mentioned that this is just a little bit small for your bullion rounds. Well, what you probably want to do is just go out and get you a pair of digital calipers. Okay? They're relatively cheap. This one, I believe, was $22 at Harbor Freight. And the only reason why it was $22 is because it did come into a case and 2 extra batteries. where I could have picked one up for like 15 that didn't have a case and no extra batteries. But this is really good. So if you've got a question, well, is my bullion round gonna fit inside a regular silver dollar tube? Just go in there and and see, we're looking at 38.55 it reads. It may not be holding it correctly because I'm trying to shoot this video, but anyway, it'll give you the millimeter diameter of the round or coin. And found out the hard way that the Walking Liberties, you know, you can't just eyeball this stuff. Yeah, I thought it would fit a standard round, but it's actually 40 millimeter, 40.59 millimeters, so it's a little bit bigger than your standard round. And I found that out because I've got a tube that I use just for Walking Liberties, and I have one that I have for my silver rounds, and it does not fit. It'll fit this, but it would not fit that. So I had to go online and find a tube that would. And this is actually called like a medallion tube. It did mention in the description for Walking Eagles, but it wasn't meant for that specifically. Like I said, the word medallion was used for it, which means it was a little bit bigger diameter. So I went ahead and picked that up for the Silver Eagle. I was in a chat with a couple of other people from our silver community, and they were asking about the little airtights or the blisters that these things fit in. Well, sometimes you'll get like a 2-ounce, 5-ounce round or something that's pretty thick. It's a lot thicker than your regular 1-ounce round. So again, you know, your calipers are really good for that. You know, you can always re-zero it, and you just find the width of your object here, and this is 2.40 millimeters. Okay, well, if you get the millimeters, the width of your coin, you can go online and search and find a blister or airtight that will fit that particular round. So another thing I found at the hobby store, which I was kind of impressed with, was that, like I said, there's things all over the place. I ended up in kind of a jewelry side where, you know, women will make necklaces and jewelry out of beads and string, and, you know, some of it's precious metal, maybe some of it's just reflective beads and stuff, but they really set it up kind of like where you can get things for a real jewelry store. And I found this package of these little black velvet bags. Now, I thought it was like one medium, but it really ended up being like 3 individuals. And I was kind of surprised by their size. You know, for $3, that's not bad. And I've never really seen these for sale in the online stores like JM Bullion, Provident Metals, and stuff like that. Not the little bags. Now, JM will give you one in a special offer, but I've only seen it with that special offer of the 10 rounds with a little bag that goes with it and all that. But otherwise, you know, that's all I've ever seen. So I found these there, and they're good because now I did pick up one little thing while I was away. I had some computer issues and was going to shoot a video last weekend, but just couldn't do it. But I'm back. And so I got a little bit of fractional silver. You know me and my poured bars, I love them. So I went ahead and got some fractional silver. And even though they look cool in this little tube, I really like the little leather bag thing for them first here. So kind of got that. I picked this bag up with these in mind and didn't know I got 3 of them. Another thing you can use them for is that I know that there's some stackers out there like Salivate Metal and Silver Slacker who have relatively large stacks, and they have a good variety of silver. Silver Slacker, he's been getting poured silver that are in different forms. He's got one round, I think it's a 5-ounce round. It has a skull, and instead of the crossbones, it's got 2 swords. Beautiful, beautiful piece. I really liked it, and he did too. He was impressed with it. He also has a lion or a tiger's head or the face of a tiger. And oh man, I love lions and tigers. I really wanted that, and when I went, it's discontinued. They don't make it anymore. That's a shame, because I really wanted that piece. And again, I think it was like a anywhere from a 3 to a 5 ounce piece. But the neat thing about these bags is, you know, they're big enough. Now this is a 10-ounce bar. You know, it's nice, thick, it's, you know, heavy. Well, these things are big enough that you can even fit a 10-ounce bar in there. So these specialty pieces of silver, like if you're going to a show, or if you're transporting it to a show, or some other event, or taking it to a friend's house to show them, you know, another stacker's house to show them, hey, look what I've got. You know, it's a good way to protect it. The bags can be used for that. So, you know, don't ever discount your local hobby store. In fact, this backdrop came with it. And if you remember, in my first unboxing video, I had some black cloth down here. It was a velour. And I had one viewer say, hey, Slacker, you know, I really don't like the black. I mean, the silver shows up on it, but it kind of takes away from the silver, and it really makes it look like a black and white photograph. Well, you know, they were right. I looked at the video and I was like, you know, it really does take away. So the suggestion was to go back to the red, and this just proves that I do listen to my viewers, you know, so please comment. I do look at the comments. I do take them seriously. So if you have any suggestions, I'm happy to entertain those. Now, back to what I was going to with the accessories and some of the tools. Unfortunately, the hobby store doesn't have anything for the 1 ounce bars. So that you will have to go online. It's a special box. It's made specifically for the bars. And I think I had to go to Provident Metals on this one to get one for the bars. And another little tool that you're probably going to, well, everybody's going to want a good razor knife for those unboxings. You know, that's a good way to get in there. You're also going to want a neodymium magnet. Not some refrigerator magnet, but one of these little small, powerful, rare earth magnets. Now, this actually came off the back of a name tag that I had at a place where I used to work. But these are for non-destructive testing. Bad thing about it, I really want to do a separate video about non-destructive testing, because I don't want this one to be too long. It's really just to showcase some of the accessories and tools that you might want to get to maintain your stack. In fact, I'll do a video on that later, because you really want to try to authenticate some of this stuff, especially if you get them, you know, if you pick up something from like eBay or something that's not as reputable as AppMex or you know, SD Bullion, JM Bullion, Providence. So you kind of want to be careful. The other thing that's really important is, of course, a scale. You really want a scale. And that way, again, non-destructive testing is to verify the weight of your coins, or the weight of your bars, your silver, just to make sure that you're getting what you think you're getting. This one is a little bit larger scale. I do have another, you know, I'm at 31 grams. And then we can go into, sorry, I should have prepared for this. But 1.1, and you got to remember a troy ounce is a little bit more than a regular ounce, so it shows up as 1.1 ounces. But then this is the big one, and I'm trying to turn it off. I'm sorry, guys. But then you've got one that's a little portable, and these are real cheap. They're like, you know, $10 at Walmart. In fact, that's where I got this one. About $10 at Walmart. And if you want to use this, you can take it to, you know, your coin shows or wherever you want to, you know, buy coins and test their weights and make sure, you know, that it's a real coin before you actually purchase it. This is the one I originally got. When I got it, it was out of calibration, of course. I had no weight to even try to calibrate it. So I really didn't know what to do. So this is one thing I wanted to add, and I thought this was a little trick I picked up when I was trying to figure out how to calibrate the scale. Oh, this is a little 5 gram, and it's 5.08. 5.06 because I moved it, but it does weigh accurately. But if for some reason you get to your show and you don't have anything standard to use, like a coin or anything like that to calibrate it, I found a little trick. I googled to see what objects would weigh 1 gram. They said a paperclip. This thing wouldn't even see the paperclip. They said like a sugar pack. Well, I don't have a sugar pack. So what I picked up from Zales Jewelers, which is very reputable, is that you use a dollar bill. And I know that sounds crazy, but a dollar bill. And they told me it didn't matter if it was a 5 or if it was a 20, 100. There, it passed. They said it didn't matter what it was as long as it was a bill of American money. And as you can see, right there on the spot, 5 grams. So just to let you know, if you get into a jam at a show and your scale goes uncalibrated, just make sure you got a buck with you to stick on there and get it back in shape. But I do have an unboxing coming. It's a piece that I've really been looking forward to. I do have it. I'm not going to unbox it tonight for you, but I'm waiting on another piece, so I'll have a little bit more to show in that unboxing. So please come back, check it out. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like, and you guys stack on.